The Fishin' Magazine television series is brought to you by Ranger Boats, where they still build them one at a time, so you can fish hard, run strong, and rest easy. Bass Pro Shops, where you get more outdoors for your money. Quantum and Motor Guide, the choice of serious fishermen. Rebel, Bomber, Heddon, Smithwick, and Cotton Cordell, America's favorite fishing lures. Riverside Lures, soft lures for serious anglers. Fishing hotspots, maps so good people ask for them by name. Pinpoint Network Fishing Systems, Lunker Lure and Hog Collar. Daylight Corporation, and Central Pro-Am Association, the leader in Pro-Am bass tournaments.
Welcome to the Fishin' Magazine television series. We're on Table Rock Lake, one of the favorite spots on Central Pro-Am's tournament trail. We've got a great show for you today, one I think you'll really enjoy. You'll see what I mean when we come back right after these messages.
When you talk about America's great bass lakes, you can't help but mention Table Rock Lake, which is ranked among the nation's premier fishing lakes since it was impounded nearly 50 years ago. And it's at famed Table Rock Lake that Central Pro-Am makes its second stop on its 2000 tournament trail. In 1999, Roger Dial won at Table Rock with a Central Pro-Am tournament record of 47.95 pounds by flipping a jig into submerged vegetation in 3 feet of water. But oh, what a difference a year makes. When Dial won, the water level at Table Rock was 2 feet above normal. This year, Table Rock is 12 feet below normal, and it's a brand new ballgame. With shoreline cover out of the water, anglers who are adept at fishing deep water structure may have a significant advantage, and 1997 Pro Division champion Tim Sonato is among the best.
I know there's a lot of fish up the rivers being caught, and that's where a lot of the guys are going. You're catching a lot of the numbers, but you're not catching as many keepers. But I'm going to go down by the dam in the clear water, because the fish I'm catching down there, I'm not catching as many, but they're a lot better quality fish. I feel I can get 13, 14 pounds a day down there. So I'm going to gamble the next 2 days and stay down there, hoping I can get the 5 bites I need a day.
The previous fall, Jimmy Davis finished second in the Fall Pro-Am Spectacular. This year, his hot hand is continuing, and he's leading the Angler of the Year standings in the Pro Division.
Basically, I look for this tournament to be probably an event where the weight's going to be probably 16, 17 pounds a day. 32 to 34 pounds will probably win this tournament. If we get some good windy conditions, probably some of your bigger stringers are going to be caught on a crankbait. But I'm going to go stick to the basics and pretty much fish the bait that got me to anywhere in fishing, and that's a jig and pork frog.
When Jimmy Davis finished second at Table Rock last fall, the man who beat him at the 11th hour was none other than his brother, Jackie, the winner of 5 Pro-Am titles.
It's very possible for someone to get on a pattern where he's catching just quality fish, them 2.5 to 3 pound fish. And I think some guys are going to come in with that 15 pounds a day. You know, there may be 2 or 3 guys that do that. And the winner will be the guy that gets lucky and gets that big bite.
The morning of day 1 is cool and overcast, with the threat of thunderstorms later in the morning. But one thing is certain. For those planning to run up one of Table Rock's river arms, it's going to be a long, chilly ride. Jack Stack seldom fishes tournaments away from Table Rock, but on his own home lake, he's tough. When deep water patterns are producing, Stack's one of the best around. Today, while others are fishing shallow, Stack's already caught 1 solid keeper deep. When his fish cease being active, Stack decides to do what everyone else seems to be doing and moves in on the point to fish around standing timber. But when he finds little success there, he heads back out to his comfort zone, about 50 feet deep. Dave Barker is fishing a crankbait in clear water areas at the lower end of the lake, and so far he has 2 small keepers. His fish were active during practice, but today they're locked up tight. Barker won the Table Rock Pro-Am in 1997, averaging over 20 pounds of bass each day. But today, Barker will consider it a real victory to come in with half that. Lou Treat won the Table Rock Pro-Am in 1995, and he'd like nothing better than to repeat that feat again this year. The 36-year-old Ranger employee is one of the best at fishing jerkbaits in the early spring. But today, the bass just haven't been hitting them. So he switched to a Carolina rig along gently sloping chunk rock banks, and his fortunes seem to be changing. If Treat can catch a limit of bass like this one, he, like Barker, will consider this day a success. When the Pro-Am anglers return to the Kimberling Inn for the day one weigh-in, Ed Shea takes the early amateur division lead with 6.3 pounds. Mike Purse has one that weighs nearly 4.5 pounds, but that's his only keeper, and he can't overtake Shea. The same is true of Robert Ernst, whose lone 4.5-pound bass takes the big bass lead, but leaves him short of overtaking Shea. It's ditto for Oscar Jones, whose only bass weighs in at 4.7 pounds. But Joe Keltner's only bass is bigger than all of them, 4.85 pounds, and he ends the day as the amateur division big bass leader. Bill Glenn doesn't have a big fish, but he's got something no other amateur competitor has, a 5-fish limit.
All right, here's your new leader right here in the amateur division, I believe. 12.15 pounds.
In the pro division, Troy Akins is one of the first to weigh in.
This kid is finished in the money in 12 consecutive Central Pro-Am tournaments. He started at Grove, Oklahoma in 1998. He's our 99 Pro Division Angler of the Year, Pro Division champion. Troy Akins from Nixa, Missouri. How many we got? I got 5. He has the limit today that weighs 11.15 pounds. A new leader, Troy Akins. Come on up here and see me, Ronnie Lawson. Ronnie Lawson competing our Pro Division from Springfield, Missouri. How many bass we got, partner?
We got 5.
He has the limit also. Did they bite in the cloud cover?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. When the sun come out, what happened?
They kept biting.
They kept biting. All right, good deal. Here we go. Ronnie Lawson got a good sack of fish here. Gonna get on up there challenging Troy Akins. He got him 11.45 pounds. A new leader, Ronnie Lawson.
A short time later, Terry Thomas comes to the scales.
One for big bass, 6.20 pounds. Get her out of there. Get a picture of that, your big bass leader in the Pro Division, Terry Thomas. That fish worth $1,700 if it holds up. More importantly, in a 5-fish limit, that's the kicker fish that they all look for. It's worth 2 of them. How many you got to go with her, sir?
I've got 5.
He has the limit. Oh, baby, watch out. Watch out them little old 11-pound sacks. 17.65 pounds.
Then comes Pro Division rookie Jim Byler.
This your first tournament of Central Pro-Am?
Yes, it is.
I mean, we got the limit on the first day of your first tournament.
Lucky.
Lucky, okay. They're all largemouth? Oh, looky here at these beautiful table rock bass. Looky here. They're second place right now in the Pro Division. 15.40 pounds.
At the end of the first day, Terry Thomas holds the Pro Division lead with 17.45 pounds. Right behind Thomas on the Lunker Lure Pro-Am scoreboard is Jim Byler with 15.4 pounds. Tim Taylor and Jimmy Davis hold down 3rd and 4th place respectively, with a trio of very capable Pro-Am veterans all tied for 5th. In the rest of the top 10, 3 more experienced pros, Gary Rusk, Wayne Fowler, and Tim Sonato, are still in the thick of the race. In the amateur division, Bill Glenn holds a 2.5-pound lead over his closest rival with 12.15 pounds. In second place is Bob Finkenstadt with 9.7 pounds, while Steve Mitchell, Ed Shea, and William Bird round out the top 5. In the rest of the top 10, Chuck Bramwell leads the way in 6th place, but he has an edge of less than half a pound over Jack Curtis and Gary Whiteley, who are tied for 9th. Stay tuned for exciting Day 2 action. We'll be right back. It's now time for Bass Fishing My Way. Helpful hints from some of Central Pro-Am's top competitors. Brought to you by Daylight Donuts, the best donuts around. In 1999, Roger Dial won at Table Rock with an all-time Pro-Am record of nearly 48 pounds. He did it by doing his homework in practice and then coming through during the tournament, fishing his way.
After I found out that the lake was down, I went looking for the deeper willow bushes. I was catching all my fish out of willow bushes, and there were a few, mostly on the flats, that seemed to be in just a little deeper water than all the rest of the bushes. And those were the ones that I set out in the pre-practice, is kind of running the lake and looking for those bushes that seemed to have a little more water on them. And I think that was a big key, was just looking for the willow bushes that seemed to sit out in a little deeper water. and offered a little more shade and a little more depth than just all the rest of them. And you had to make a silent presentation to be able to catch the fish. Plus, you had to be able to get your bait far enough up in the cover where they didn't have to come out and chase it, because they weren't chasing any lures. You just had to drop it in front of their face and they'd bite it.
The morning of day 2 dawns cloudy and cool, and as on day 1, the possibility of midday thunderstorms looms over the Pro-Am anglers. Most of the competitors are certain that day 1 leader Terry Thomas will be making an hour-long run up the White River to the Roaring River area. But with Table Rock this low and conditions that far up the lake uncertain, most of the Pro-Am anglers will take their chances staying closer to home in order to maximize their fishing time. Orlean Smith was in a 3-way tie for 5th place after day 1, and this morning he's returned to the bank that produced his first day limit. He's casting a crankbait up to the bank and retrieving it through the pole timber. In 1995, Smith became Central Pro-Am's Angler of the Year as a rookie, but he's yet to win a Central Pro-Am event, and he knows he has a good chance here if he can get a second limit. But it doesn't take Smith long to realize that conditions have changed. After he catches one small keeper early, he goes 3 hours without another keeper bite. And unless his fish turn on the way they did on day 1, Smith knows his chances for victory are rapidly diminishing. Tim Taylor was in 3rd place after catching 14 pounds of bass fishing a grub around boat docks. Taylor's in his 2nd season of Central Pro-Am competition and finished 1999 as the Pro Division Rookie of the Year. However, this is his best chance yet to move into the winner's circle, and today he's returned to the areas that produced his day 1 limit. Taylor and amateur partner Thomas Johnston are getting strikes all right, but without the steady wind that blew on day 1, they're having a hard time catching keepers. Finally, the 6-pound line Taylor's using on his spinning reel gets snarled, and he has to stop fishing to untangle it. And while he is, a bass hits the dangling lure. Now, this isn't textbook form, but some days you have to settle for bites any way you can get them. Jimmy Davis was right behind Taylor in the day 1 standings with 13.35 pounds, and today he's doing exactly what he said he'd do, fishing a 3/8-ounce brown jig with the number 11 Uncle Josh pork frog around rock ledges and bluff points up the White River. Davis went 3 hours without a keeper at the start of the day, but then he landed a 7-pound largemouth. Now he has 3 other keepers to go with it, and he's trying to complete a limit that could give him his first Central Pro-Am tournament victory. Davis and amateur partner Larry McGlynn are running a series of spots Davis located in practice, and they're getting plenty of strikes. The problem is the same as other Pro-Am anglers are experiencing all over Table Rock today. The bass that are biting are simply too short to keep. About midday, a line of thunderstorms moves across Table Rock, and Davis is encouraged. Finally, he gets the strike he's been waiting for. Now he's got the limit he needed if he's to have a chance of overtaking Terry Thomas. When the Pro-Am anglers return to the Kimberling Inn for the day 2 weigh-in, David Holbrook comes in with 3 fish that total nearly 7 pounds, but he falls just short of overtaking day 1 leader Bill Glenn. A short time later, Glenn comes to the scales. Today he has only 1 bass that extends his leading total to 15.05 pounds. Up next is Gary Whiteley.
5.10 pounds yesterday. How many we got today? Got a limit today. Watch out, leader. There it goes. 10.90 pounds. Let's see, is it going to do it? Done deal. 16 pounds even. A new leader in the amateur division. Gary Whiteley.
Whiteley holds the amateur division lead until there's just 1 angler left to weigh in, and that's Mike Purse.
Oh, my, look at this sack of fish here. I did it to you, Gary. 13.95 pounds. We got a new leader in the amateur division, the last guy to come in, 18.30 pounds. Mike Purse from Springfield, Missouri.
In the Pro Division, the first to weigh in is Rick Culver, and he has a limit for the 2nd day in a row.
Good sack of fish here. Let's call the weight for him. 13.50 pounds. Well, that's going to get things heated up here a little bit. Here we go. 2-day total, 25.10 pounds. A new leader in the Pro Division, Rick Culver.
Randy Scott comes in with this hefty 6.5-pounder. But it's his only keeper, and he can't challenge Culver's lead. Jimmy Davis is next.
Oh, look at that beautiful Table Rock bass. Look at her. Is she gorgeous? All right, here we go. Boy, oh, look at this sack of fish here. Here we go. Good job, buddy. Get on up there. 14.45 pounds. Oh, my goodness. Let's get a two-day total here. Here we go. 27.80 pounds on new leader, Jimmy Davis Jr.
After day one, Jim Akins was back in the pack with 9.8 pounds, but his fortunes changed dramatically today.
5 got him the limit today. Look at here, this is the heaviest, darn near the heaviest sack of this tournament. 17 pounds even. Watch out here. Watch out. Oh, so close yet so far. 26.80. Jimmy Davis still leading. Jim Akins right behind him here.
Next to challenge Davis is Tim Taylor.
He had a heck of a sack of fish yesterday, 5 that weighed 14 pounds. Did you get them today, kid?
Yes, sir, I did. It was a lot harder, though.
You get the same quality.
No, I did not.
You need 13 plus pounds to take the lead away. What do you think? What do you think? Almost 13, not quite. That's your final answer. 12.25 pounds.
Next is Jackie Davis, who's already won 5 Pro Division titles and is ready to challenge his brother's lead.
It's not fair. He needs to win one.
Yeah, he really does. But I'd like to win another one.
You are a greedy, greedy little man. You really are. That's just all there is to it. All right, they got away a load to take the lead. Big time. 16, almost 17 pounds.
Gonna be close.
I'll have Jimmy come up here and watch. I want somebody else to look. Oh, my God. Looky here. Oh, I don't believe this. Come in here and look at them, too. 17.50 pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, 28.55 pounds. That's your leader, Jackie Davis.
Finally, the only angler who can overtake Jackie Davis is first day leader Terry Thomas.
Weighing one for big fish, 6.35 pounds. 640. Davis is watching $13,000 go drifting away.
Why?
Why? Let's see, you only need 4 fish. They got to weigh 11 pounds?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not even going to mess with you, Jackie. Here it goes. 11.80 pounds.
It's in the record books now. Terry Thomas survives a tough second day to win his 4th Pro Division title with a 2-day total of 29.45 pounds. Less than half a pound behind on the Lunker Lure Pro-Am scoreboard is Jackie Davis with 28.55 pounds, followed by brother Jimmy Davis, Jim Akins, and Tim Taylor. In the rest of the top 10, Tim Sonato leads the way in 6th place, with Jeff Farley, Gerald DuBois, Rick Culver, and Howard Buning close behind. In the amateur division, Mike Purse's remarkable second-day catch carries him to his first Central Pro-Am victory with a 2-day total of 18.3 pounds. Runner-up Gary Whiteley achieves his best finish ever, while first-day leader Bill Glenn, David Holbrook, and Robert Ernst complete the top 5. In the rest of the top 10, it's tight all the way, as less than a pound separates Terry Wallace in 6th place from Tom Mason in 10th. Stay tuned for tournament winning tips from Terry Thomas. We'll be right back. Tips from the top. Techniques you can use to catch more fish. Brought to you by Ranger Boats, where they still build them one at a time.
These fish came in a small area with some laydowns or brush piles in them. And I thought if I could work those areas real well, I thought I could probably catch a good limit each day. I'd started out fishing a white spinnerbait, but my amateur partner, Diego Segui, caught a keeper on a chartreuse spinnerbait. So this is a color that I like in off-colored water. And I picked it up and started throwing, and immediately caught a couple of keepers. And I run to another little pocket, and there was a beaver hut in the pocket, and out of that beaver hut. I caught a 620 yesterday on a flipping a jig. Then today I ran back to Leatherwood Creek, and I fished in Leatherwood until 1 o'clock and had one fish. And I decided that I had as good an area in Roaring River. And as soon as I got in Roaring River, that's when the storm hit. And I had 2 or 3 big fish to roll the spinnerbait and not take it. So I picked up the Gets It, and I went down the bank and tried to pitch into the laydowns where I'd had the big fish to roll. The 635 that I caught today, why, it had rolled a spinnerbait earlier, and I pitched against it in the same spot that it rolled the spinnerbait, and it hit the Gets It.
You know, when tournament competition is tough, it sometimes takes more than one lure to win a Pro-Am bass tournament. That's what Terry Thomas found out this weekend on Table Rock Lake. Hope you enjoyed today's show, and hope you'll join us next week on the Fishing Magazine television series.
The Fishin' Magazine television series is brought to you by Ranger Boats, where they still build them one at a time, so you can fish hard, run strong, and rest easy. Bass Pro Shops, where you get more outdoors for your money. Quantum and Motor Guide, the choice of serious fishermen. Rebel, Bomber, Heddon, Smith.